And I'm asking myself, we have this money in this country and we are begging IMF for $3 billion loan. In regards to the United States freezing aid to Ghana, John Dramani Mahama took a very beautiful action. Greetings, lovely people. Thank you for choosing Official Survivor Media. Here, you will not be disappointed. This episode is going to be amazing, so relax. The president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, is setting the country on fire to some people. Currently, as we're speaking, the nation, Ghana right now, there are some people, they are in hot soup. There is heat everywhere for some people, particular people. And guys, I promise you, you are going to love this session. Before John Mahama became president, he sounded a warning. Let me read it. Let me quote him. This is what he said. He said, I stayed in this country after leaving office and I availed myself for accountability. Those in government today must also stay when they leave office. Pa! When the president issued this warning, I look at it as, you know, just like normal politicians, they do these things. We know them. But it's like the president of Ghana meant what exactly he said. Now, the update we are dealing with right now is that the former Ghanaian finance minister, Ofori-Atta, the mighty Ofori-Atta, has been declared a fugitive by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP, due to his failure to respond to multiple summons for questioning regarding several high-profile corruptions investigations. And lovely people, to make this episode much more spicy, I added additional update which involve the United States freezing aid to Ghana. The president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, gave a directive as to how to handle this situation. So we are connecting two updates here. The issue of Ofori-Atta, the finance minister here, and the directive of the president in regards to Donald Trump freezing aid to Ghana. And it is amazing, people. You're going to love it. So relax. Let's go through this. And as I'm speaking to you, it has gotten to the level where BBC World have to put it out there. Ofori-Atta, the almighty Ofori-Atta, wanted fugitive. So we are going to go through it one after the other to understand what is going on, what led to this, what next action is the president taking relating to corruption issues, everything connected to this. I'm pulling it out. The day of accountability is here. Everybody involved in corruption, stay in the country, don't run away, calm down. This man, Ofori-Atta, that you are saying, he was a very powerful man. Very powerful because the president was behind him solidly. You can't touch this man. This man is the cousin of Akufo-Addo, the former president of Ghana. So it was family and friends governance that we went through. The family team up together to eat the nation anyhow they wanted it. During this time, this guy was involved in significant financial projects and initiative in this country. In late 2022, everybody was disappointed in this man. When I said everybody, I mean everybody. Amid Ghana's escalating economic challenges in late 2022, there was a significant public outcry for the removal of this finance minister, Ofori-Atta. Ghana had economic downturn due to his policies and mismanagement, he and the brother. What followed after is that parliamentary actions were taken against him. Even the MPP at some point in time acknowledged that this man needs to step down. I am taking my time because we are going somewhere. Now, presidential response came in despite mounting pressures. People, President Nana Addo Dankwa, former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, maintained support for his cousin, Ofori-Atta, stating that there was no basis for his dismissal. And one of the main reasons why he wanted to maintain him is because of the IMF fund that they were expecting. This man, Akufo-Addo, think he is wiser than everybody in the country that time because public sentiment stepped in. The cause for Ofori-Atta's removal were not limited to political figures. Many Ghanaians expressed dissatisfaction with his handling of the economy, leading to widespread protests and public debate, social media everywhere. But the president, he said he no go agree. His cousin will stay. It means if you like, we can go and drink the sea. Don't worry, I need to be teaching you my native language small. Now, I support the OSP's action, but I don't think this action could have been possible if the President Akufo-Addo was in office. That is a fact. I will show you some secret. I'll show you something. Now, the allegations laid against Ken Ofori-Atta, the OSP has identified Ken Ofori-Atta as a suspect in multiple cases, including the National Cathedral project. Investigations are now focused on the procurement process and financial transaction related to this particular initiative, a project that wasted 58 million US dollars. That is the project on your screen. It has become swimming pool. 58 million US dollars. Taxpayers' money. Meanwhile, in Burkina Faso, 12 million US dollars was used to construct a meaningful project which give job to the youth. Number 2, Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. The investigations surround a contract between the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, and SML. This particular company is a private Ghanaian company established in 2017, and it is alleged that this man of Ken Ofori-Atta is behind this master plan. There are other multiple reasons why he is now wanted, but let me leave it. Now let's talk about his current status. The great mighty Ken Ofori-Atta. If they say this man can be wanted today, this is a miracle. The almighty Ken Ofori-Atta departed Ghana around January 2nd, 2025. One of the things is that anytime they are done with their office and they know that they are going to answer for all the nonsense they did, then they run away. Abroad has become a home of corruption to African corrupt leaders and politicians. He departed citing medical reasons. For some medical reason, he needs to be there until he's been taken care of completely. Now, my question, Ken Ofori-Atta was a finance minister in this country. You sponsor project in this country. You were the same people telling us that you have given us the best of health system. You have digitalized the health system, as your vice president have been saying it. We now have better health system. Now the project that you yourself you finance here, the health setup project that you finance here, cannot take care of you in Ghana. When politicians are sick in Africa, they go abroad to receive treatment. When they die, they come back here and get buried. Africa is like a cemetery to politicians. If you are cooking something that you cannot eat, you don't need to give it to somebody to eat. If the hospitals in Ghana is not enough for Ken Ofori-Atta to receive treatment, the Ghanaians don't deserve it. I think government should ban this nonsense. No government official should get sick and go outside the country. Stay here and reap the fruit of your labor. Now the OSP came out and said, "Pao, you no go gree." The OSP has expressed skepticism regarding the authenticity of his medical documentation, and he believed that Ken Ofori-Atta is intentionally evading the investigations, and consequently the OSP has declared him a wanted individual, and the OSP is considering legal measures to ensure his return to this country for questioning. So on the next step, the OSP has urged Ken Ofori-Atta to return voluntarily. If he fails to do so, the OSP plan to initiate legal proceeding to facilitate his return and ensure his cooperation with the ongoing investigation. You can't run away this time. And then in a surprise move from wheresoever, update came out on February 11th that the residence of former Minister Ken Ofori-Atta located in Cantonment area Accra was reportedly attacked by unknown men or armed individual in military uniform. When I watched this update, I told myself that the next thing we are going to hear is that they broke into his room and then some papers and documents are missing. They are trying to hide evidence. Just when I was thinking of this, then I was like, maybe I'm just overthinking. Then the OSP came out and confirmed it. Watch the video and see the confidence of the OSP. Let me tell you something about it.
The purported raid on Mr. Ofori-Atta's residence was staged, or at best, an imposter action in an attempt to court disfavor for the OSP and to derail the investigation. You know us very well. The OSP is never deterred by such occurrences, and the investigations will continue as by law prescribed.
Guys, you see this OSP, he was not having this type of confidence under the former regime, Akufo-Addo. It got to some time the OSP cannot prosecute anybody. Especially the case of Cecilia Dapa. They were choking him. They don't want him to carry out investigations. The state was fighting the person who is trying to fight corruption. This is how high corruption has eaten this nation under Akufo-Addo. The state, the government of Akufo-Addo was ready to fight anybody who is interested in fighting corruption, because the MPP government, from the head Akufo-Addo to the last man, is corruption. It got to some time the OSP have to come out and be speaking parables. We all can see that no, the OSP is under pressure. He nearly even resigned. But look at his confidence today. That is what I want you to see. He became very confident. You see how he's talking with boldness. He couldn't do this under Akufo-Addo regime. He does not even have the heart, the brain, the mind to even try to prosecute or investigate this man, finance minister. He can't. Now, the fight against corruption continues. The Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP, has additionally initiated investigation into another corruption and financial regulatory involving the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, and the Minerals Income Investment Fund. The probe centers on the suspected stealing. People are using the word embezzlement, or some English they are using. I will not use it. I'll use it raw. Stealing of 1.3 billion from the Unified Petroleum Pricing Fund and potential payroll fraud. And when you connect this to Mahama initiative, it bridges together. As part of accountability and anti-corruption measures, John Dramani Mahama has ordered an investigation into the National Service Authority following the discovery of over 81,000 suspected ghost names on its payroll. When we say ghost name, we are not talking about ghosts in cemetery. No, these ghost names are non-existing individuals fraudulently listed on government payroll. Some people are taking that money, eating it. Meanwhile, in January 2024, Vice President John Mahmudu Bawumia, not John, it's not John, he said they launched digital initiative which aim at eradicating ghost names. But still, we have ghost name. Ghosts are still receiving pay in Ghana. Meanwhile, I'm not receiving pay in Ghana. But ghosts are receiving pay. You see, I am somehow confident that we are going to be seeing more of these actions against corruption or corrupt activities in the future, because in December 2024, President John Dramani Mahama established the Operation Recover All Loot Oral, and on the 10th of February 2025, the Oral Committee presented its comprehensive report to President John Dramani Mahama, detailing 2,417 complaints of suspected corruption received from the public by the Oral Committee. And he emphasized the government's commitment to prosecuting individuals found liable for corruption or related offenses. And according to his word, he said Ghana will no longer be a safe haven for corruption. Now, this is where I am having problem with this whole thing. The Oral Committee's funding indicates that if successfully recovered, the state could reclaim approximately 20.49 billion US dollars from 36 detailed cases, including high-profile issues such as the National Cathedral Project, the Power Distribution Services (PDSD), and the Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited (SML) contract, which is the reason why Ken Ofori-Atta is now a wanted fugitive. Guys, listen to the figure: 20.49 billion US dollars. And I'm asking myself, we have this money in this country, and we are begging IMF for 3 billion US dollars loan. Oh my goodness, what is the meaning of this nonsense? We have this money in this country and we cannot even build factories to employ youths to work. We cannot establish businesses, enterprises. We cannot invest in agriculture for food production to export outside this country. We should be ashamed of ourselves. But I must be honest and fair to indicate that Mahama has learned from his failure in 2016, and being in opposition, I think he came better prepared this time. I think he wants us to see something new this time. And in regards to the United States freezing aid to Ghana, John Dramani Mahama took a very beautiful action. And I tell you that this thing that Donald Trump is doing is opening the mind of African leaders. This freezing of aid is going to create 156 million US dollar gap in our economy. But guess what John Mahama did? He directed the finance minister Atufosin to address and fill the gap of 156 million funding gap. He should fill it. Of course, because you are the finance minister, we employ you for that. So you need to do your job. If there is a gap, you need to fill it. Everybody must work and show and exercise their profession this time. There is a gap coming, 156 million US dollars. Fill it. And lovely people, in a very interesting interview, John Dramani Mahama was asked about the new strategy they intend to initiate to bridge the USAID funding. And listen to this amazing answer that he gave this woman.
What is the new system that you would want to create, both for trade and aid, assuming that the US is doing what it's doing? What is everyone else going to need to do now?
Well, self-reliance is not only at the national level, but on the continental level. And there's good news coming out of Africa, like she said. Most countries have ratified the protocol on continental free trade in Africa. And that trade is beginning to grow steadily. We're able to export tariff-free into our countries. Of course, there are obstacles because our trade channels have been the colonial trade channels between us and Europe and not amongst ourselves. So one of the things we need to deal with first is how we develop the infrastructure to be able to exchange goods amongst ourselves. Already, most countries are allowing free movement of people. And so if we have free movement of goods and services across the continent, I think that it will fill a huge gap in South-South trade, and that will benefit all our countries.
And do you think that the actions of the Trump administration will accelerate Africans' determination to do this? Will it finally actually happen, the African Free Trade Area?
Definitely it will. Definitely we will learn to be more self-reliant as a continent and to trade more amongst ourselves, because there's a lot of room there for expanding trade.
We have interesting times ahead. So these are the developments in Ghana. Lovely people, let me know your thoughts in the comment section.